Hey, top of the morning to you. A little bit later than normal when we record these FBTV live video podcasts, but well, considering we haven't done one in a little over a week, a lot of that is my fault. I've been hoarse. If you have called in and we've spoken, well, you understand what's going on. I've just pretty much lost my voice, so pretty hard to talk. I'd be like this. And if you called in, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be clearing my throat a little bit during this podcast. It's a video podcast. It's live. If you are a FBTV Insider, you're able to watch this video podcast live. It will be posted as a podcast that will be coming up a little bit later today. And you hear that clicking. Maybe I shouldn't click. Is that clicking picking up? Yeah, it's picking up. But he'll be on the YouTube. That'll be coming up after a while, too. So, anyway, good to have you. Always good to be here. This is March 24th. It's just past 9 a.m. when we are doing this podcast. And we usually do it earlier, but I have some radio commitments that I have to do early in the mornings now. But, hey, better late than never, right? Okay. Yeah, that's still doing the audio checks, and the audio don't look right, but I suppose it is. If it's not right, well, the way it goes. This video podcast for the week of March 22nd, FreightBrokerTV.com. Like I said, if you are Insider, FBTV Insider, you are going to be able to watch as we are actually doing this podcast. So keep that in mind. Hey, if you got questions, comments, messages, you can contact us. A lot of ways to do that. You can email me direct, fbtv@freightbrokertv.com. Lots of contact forms on our website. Of course, that's freightbrokertv.com. And you can use our studio line. Call, leave a message, 479-668-0213. Now, I've been talking about the FBTV Insider. What is that exactly? Well, the FBTV Insider, you can register for free and have access to all the Insider or the regular content, the public content we post. But if you pay a measly little subscription, $2.99 a month, I think, less than that if you do it by year, $24.95 a year, you get access to all the Insider content. That includes the Insider live video podcast. You can watch it, plus other material we're going to be putting up as well. Now, I've been promising up in the Insider to put up the final video, and I forget what that was now. It's been so long. I think it's the drive-in, flatbed, refrigerator, whatever's not up there, that's what we're going to be talking about next. So hopefully we'll get that up there this week. What is that? That's really driving me bonkers now. I need to look. Let me look, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. That the next video it's going to be posted. I said I would. Huh. Hang in there. I'm looking. I know it's here somewhere. I'm just not seeing it. Well, I'll find it. What was it? Oh, flatbeds. There. Okay, reefer. Okay, drive-ins. That's what it's going to be. It's right there in front of me. I just couldn't see it. Couldn't see the trees because the forest got in the way. Know what I mean? Hey, I want to tell you can freight broker anywhere in the world. You can broker freight from anywhere in the world as long as you, well, obviously have somebody's a license you can work under or your own. We've had clients before, they set up their offices in the United States and they have staff located in all different parts of the world, including Ukraine, England, El Salvador, Canada, obviously. She's just all over the world. So pretty much all you got to do is have internet, telephone, and a computer. You're going to be able to broker. Now, you may be wondering, well, how can I broker what am I using if I'm not in the United States to as a telephone? My cell phone? No. VoIP lines, that's what most of the people do. They use VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. Plenty of services out there. I mean, one to check out, I think pretty much everyone knows about it, is Ring Central, ringcentral.com. We've used them for years. I'll tell you a story about that. This is from Tautoa side. And if you don't know, I'm a consultant for Tautoa. But back in, 2007, 2008, when the Great Recession started, boy, that hurt everybody. But back when that started, everyone was looking for ways to cut expenses. And we were no different. We were no different at all. We were looking for ways to cut expenses as well. And one of those was doing away with the telephone system. We had a fancy telephone system. It was costing a lot of money. I'm serious. It was. What I remember was like $400, $500, $600 a month because you paid $100 per line. Then you paid for the 800 number. And the way that 800 number worked, if somebody called the 800 number, you got charged like 25 cents a minute or something like that. I mean, it was nuts. It was really nuts. And so it was costing a lot of money. And we decided, okay, we got to do something. And we started looking at different phone services. And we came across Ring Central. And this is going to sound like an advertisement for them, but it's not. It's just the way the story played out. And we're not recommending Ring Central. I'm not recommending Ring Central at all, even though it sounds like maybe I am. One to check out, obviously, but there's a lot of services out there today, bunches of them. So find the one that's right for you because they all pretty much do the same thing. But with Ring Central, we looked over the system, and if you remember Skype back in the day, that was the original, I say it was the original VoIP service. It was awful. It was meant for family and friends. It was not meant to be used as a business line. And people use it for business now. I still don't agree with it because it's a Skype number. We even use Skype, but it's for our studio line. That's it, and we do interviews and things like that using the Skype so we can record them. But other than that, that's about it. I would not ever recommend Skype for your business phone. Okay, same thing, Google Call. I don't even know if they still have that anymore. I wouldn't recommend that. You need to have some type of good, true telephone system if you're going to be a broker or have some type of a broker operation where you are probably working out of your home or whatever. But anyway, so we all looked over the Ring Central back in 07, 08 when we were looking to cut expense, and we decided, okay, we'll give it a shot. We will give it a shot. And I had my doubts because, if you had any experience with Skype, the calls sounded like you were in a barrel. They drop out immediately, unexpectedly or whatever, and all that. But so we had to order a phone as well, our phones, and we decided, a VoIP phone. Back in the day, you didn't just go down to Office Depot or Best Buy and get a VoIP phone off the shelf. You pretty much had to order it online because, it was new technology. And we did. We ordered a phone. I think it cost about $120, $140, something like that. And I just in the back of my head, I was sure it was going to be some type of a Fisher Price phone, just fall apart. And I really expected the phone service to be terrible. As maybe a little bit better in this guy, but I wasn't expecting much. And the phone, it's one of the best office phones I've ever used. Matter of fact, it's the same one sitting on my desk today that we got, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14 years ago. Same one. Still works. It's heavy duty, and you can plug a headset into it, kind of a professional headset, that you can plug into it, and it's clear, it works, it's high def, it's just the whole 9 yards. But anyway, it really surprised me. But check it out. It's excellent for somebody that travels, maybe somebody that You're setting up, looking for a home phone system or a phone system for your broker operation, because the phone itself, it plugs into your router. Okay. And I think they recommend 5 megabytes per second internet speed. No, you can check. Go to Ring Central, find out about that. But anyway, okay, that was a, 3 or 4 minute advertisement for Ring Central, and it should have been. Like I said, I'm not recommending them. It's just some place to look, and I just want to share that story with you. All right, if you want some FBTV stuff, we got swag, man. We got swag. Coffee mugs, T-shirts, tank tops, hoodies. FreightBrokerTV.com. Check out the store. If you're an insider, go to the best resources, and you will find the store link in the resources. Now, okay, what is going on? Diesel prices, well, they pretty much were steady this week for the most part. Maybe just a little bit up, but you probably didn't even see it. And finally, because they've been going up since November. Funny, that's when the election was, November. But anyway, apples and oranges probably, right? Anyway, diesel's at $3.19 a gallon this week. Gasoline's up a penny. It has pretty much flattened out too. It's up to $2.86 a gallon. I know here in our parts, and we were talking about this in the last podcast, we had trouble getting gasoline because of the winter weather that we had a few weeks ago. It's hard to believe a month ago. If it's been even that long, a month since that big winter storm hit, and now we're in the 70s every day. You gotta love Arkansas, man. If you don't like the weather, hang around for a few minutes. It will change. Diesel prices have dropped in the Midwest. They're holding steady in the lower Atlantic. Headlines, looking at those real quick. There's a bill in Alaska that would double the state's fuel taxes. And, well, that's pretty wild. Pardon me. I'm sure there's a channel on YouTube I watch occasionally. Summers in Alaska. It's a family. And, they take you around, show you what it costs, to live in Alaska and things like that. It's pretty interesting. But double the state's fuel tax rate? That would seem to be putting a kind of a hurt on the few residents that live in Alaska. Now, I say few, but compared to other states, the people per acre or per square mile, is a lot less than somewhere down in the States. Missouri Senate approves a fuel tax increase, so the states are going after your money again. It is what it is, folks. There was something tax filing, IRS. Internal Revenue Service extended the filing and payment deadlines from the April 15th date that we all know and love so well to May 17th. Now, here's something weird. Okay, on May 17th, your tax filing is going to be due, as well as your tax payment. But let's say you get an extension. If you want to fill an extension, you got to get the form 4868. And if you're probably working with the tax person or something like that, they can do that for you. They know what to file. So you can get an extension for filing till October 15th, 6-month extension. All right, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, no, 5-month extension. Well, 6 months from October. Or April. That's great. So anyway, you get a 5-month extension since the filing deadline is going to be May 17th. You can get an extension to file as far as October 15th. Now here's the kicker. Yeah, okay, all right, okay, you can file. Okay, we're going to give you a break if you want to. Need a few extra months to file. That's fine. But your money, it still needs to be here on May 17th. But I haven't filed. I don't know what I owe. It don't matter. Pay us something, what you think you might owe. And, if it turns out you pay too much, we'll give it back. Yeah, that didn't work for me too well last year. Anyway, that's the way that goes. But anyway, I thought you might want to know that. Mask mandates. We're on the back end of the coronavirus, it looks like, and it's pretty weird. Governor of Arkansas, that's where I'm at. He's talking about lifting the mandate at the end of the month. And it's funny because a year ago when they started making you wear a mask, the restaurants around the area or the state here, I'm just talking about locally, they were complaining, and they had a right to complain. Everybody was up in the air. They closed down restaurants. And the way they started that mask mandate, everybody was cool about it. But still, it's kind of weird. I haven't been in a restaurant, a sit-down restaurant, since before the coronavirus started. And then I find out you get here in Arkansas, they made you wear a mask. Well, I take that back. In Oklahoma, I was in Oklahoma a few months ago. I went over to Muskogee to the Bass Pro Shop, and they got a great little barbecue joint right next to the Bass Pro Shop. And my buddy and I, Ricky. Matter of fact, Ricky, we're going to talk to him someday. He is a former driver, and I think I brought him up before, but we're going to talk to him someday when he feels a little bit better. He had a surgery around his neck here a few months ago, and a couple of months ago anyway, and he's recuperating from that. Apparently, that's a long process to recover from, but we'll be talking to him. But other than that, that's the only restaurant I've been in, and the only reason we went in there was because there was no mask mandate. We didn't have to wear a mask. I was not going into a restaurant where you had to wear a mask. And it was the same thing at the time in Bass Pro Shops, they didn't have to wear a mask. But anyway, it just, I don't want to be served by somebody wearing a mask. I don't know, just creepy, just creepy. But anyway, as of March 22nd, a couple of days ago, these are the states that have no mask mandate. So in other words, knock yourself out, take it off, throw it away. Alaska, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Wyoming. If you're in one of those states, congratulations. Take off that mask. If we don't get it off soon, we're going to have a real weird tan line. You know what I mean? All right. What are we doing here? Yeah, we're still on time. Okay, this caught my attention. Self-driving truck developer TU Simple. They're filing for an IPO. And you know my stance on self-driving trucks, big trucks. Here's where I stand on it. If you don't know, I don't think there's a person anywhere in the country. I was going to say on the planet, but I've watched those big trucks in India, and they do some weird stuff. But anyway, anyone in this country that wants to be on the road with their family in their little car on the interstate, knowing that there are driverless trucks on the road with them. No driver. I wouldn't. Autonomous trucks, as they call them, self-driving. Well, TU Simple, they're filing for an IPO, and this just goes to what I've been saying. This is an opportunity for these self-driving truck developers, these autonomous trucks. I'm sure they're getting government money, for research. I'm sure they're getting investors, and now they're going to take it to the next step, and now they're filing for IPOs. So they're going to get the money and run, and there's going to be people that invest in this, and I wouldn't be surprised if these IPOs for these autonomous trucking companies that are developers anyway doesn't come out of the gate high and go up. It's going to, in my opinion. And I'm not a big stock guy or anything like that, but in my opinion, it's short-lived. It's short-lived, mainly because who's going to be, one, you get the technology, you get it put in the truck, who's going to be able to afford to buy it? The engine is going to wear out. They're talking about electric trucks here next, being on the road, by 2035. Well, there's some out there on the road now, I suppose. But that's going to be expensive. But the technology that has to go in these autonomous trucks, holy smoke. Still, who's going to be able to afford that? I wonder what. We want to do some research on that. My crack research team, they should do some math and figure out, okay, what would a truck cost that had the autonomous trucking and was electric? I bet it's a lot more than $150,000. You know what I mean? I bet it's a lot more. And I'm sure there's information out there, but I've yet to hear how long one of those electric trucks last. How long? How long does it last? The motor or the mechanism that makes it go forward and backward. Anyway, that's where I'm at on that. If you're interested in watching this Too Simple IPO, well, day before yesterday, yesterday they filed a registration statement with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission regarding its proposed IPO, so we'll see. Anyway, they are listing their stock on the NASDAQ Global Market, Select Market under TSP. So if you want to watch it, TSP is the ticker symbol. All right, what else we got going on? We done the headlines. Here's something weird out of California. Do we have time? Yeah, we got time. This is just strange. And I guess only in California. Here's how insane the eviction laws are in California. Specifically, we're talking about Riverside, California. Tracy and Miles Albert, they bought a beautiful 4-bedroom house for $560,000. Then, at the end of escrow, after closing, the seller just simply refused to leave. Wouldn't move, wouldn't give them the keys. There's nothing the buyers can do about it because of the emergency pandemic laws in California. Well, you can't evict anyone. So the people bought it. The guy got the money that they bought it from. And he won't move out, and he doesn't have to because the state of California, their laws, the pandemic laws, protect him. The realtor, who is Chris Taylor, says it's generally unfathomable to me that we live in a state where something like this is even possible. They closed escrow back on January 31st, over a year ago, 2020. The Alberts and Taylor have contacted the authorities and tried to get the seller evicted, but because of the pandemic law, they've got nowhere. It says just draining emotionally and financially. Meanwhile, the seller who wins the biggest jerk of the year award, hands down, has their money and their house. Miles Albert says when he contacted law enforcement told him, hey, if you were in Arizona, Nevada, probably any place else in the country, wouldn't be a problem. But you're in California. And there you go. I thought that was kind of, one of those stories shakes your head and wonder. Stuff like that, you understand why people are exiting California by the truckload. All right, we'll finish up here today. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. This is a global warming story, by the way. He's been on a roll lately. Just recently in an interview, he said, there's a reason Greenland was called Greenland. It was actually green at one point in time, and it's been, since it's a whole lot of wider now. So we've experienced climate change throughout the geologic time. It's always been frozen, Senator. It's never been green. It's always been frozen. Okay. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us on this FBTV live video podcast. Again, if you've been watching it on FBTV Insider, you can check that out, fbtvinsider.com. Great. If not, you missed it. It'll be in the archives here shortly, later today. It will be up on as a podcast. If you are wanting to follow our podcast, we'd appreciate it. You can find our podcast on your favorite podcasting app, FBTV, obviously. Give us a thumbs up, follow us, subscribe, helps us out. Also, it will be on YouTube, and if you're watching this on YouTube, we'd appreciate a thumbs up, subscribe. It helps the channel grow. But in the meantime, that's going to wrap it up for today. So, until we meet again, well, it's Wednesday, it's hump day. Have a good Wednesday. Unless you've made other plans, we'll see you soon.